well as YouTube. So I think that the stream is working. Um, I just want to say a quick little prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for this day. Thank you for being with us. Lord, as we talk about this subject, I ask that you would help people to grow, help me to grow, and all of us to get into a better place. In Christ's Jesus' name I pray. Amen. So, I wanted to talk about something that I read recently on my Facebook page, which is that the school that I attended, I'm not gonna throw any names out there because I don't want necessarily to create disruption there, but they announced that they were going to do a George Floyd scholarship, and I just couldn't believe it. I was like, really, like really, like a George Floyd, like the same George Floyd that I talked about before, like that same one. They actually made a scholarship for him, and so the arguments for this are pretty interesting. Like, why would you make a scholarship for a guy who had the kind of life that he did? Um, but apparently, that's not how some people feel about it. So I'm gonna play this right here, and this is where this president of this other university actually announced this scholarship uh, at the funeral of George Floyd. So
North Central University, I
North
want to
Central
welcome
University.
the Floyd family to our campus. This is truly an undeserved honor for our university.
Hmm.
I've been praying all week that this sacred space would become a table of healing
Okay,
for the Floyd family, for the city of Minneapolis,
that's
and for
good.
the world that is grieving beyond these walls.
Mm-hmm.
In just a moment, I want to offer a brief prayer. But before I offer that brief prayer, I just want to announce, as
Okay.
president of this school, the institution of the George Floyd Memorial Scholarship.
Hmm. And of course, it's met with applause, from the family and from all the people there.
Even before announcing this scholarship yesterday, unsolicited, over $53,000 was handed to me to contribute toward the
$53,000.
educational priring young Black American leaders.
So I don't have any problem with young, inspiring African American leaders. I have no problem with that at all. As a matter of fact, I myself am a young, inspiring, already African American leader, and so I don't have any problem with the idea, with the philosophy behind wanting to make more of leaders of all races and shapes and colors and creeds. I have no problem with that. What I have a problem with is why taking that money and redirecting it, towards a guy like this. That doesn't add up to me. But let's finish what he has to say a little bit.
But here's what I really want to say. Far beyond North Central University, I am now challenging every university president in the United States of America to establish your own George Floyd Memorial Scholarship Fund.
And I mean, I think that's a good thing. I think it's a good thing. I think it's a good thing to redirect money towards schools. And I understand that. I understand the challenges of racism, right? Historically, I think that they're real. I think that they did happen, and they do have an effect on people today. But the victimization mentality that is going around today, I think, is even more destructive to Black Americans, and not just Black Americans, but to all Americans, right? And the fact that that we have to isolate black people into an entirely separate group is something that is troubling to me. And so I'm like, how can you make a scholarship out of this? And then they tell me, well, it's not really about the guy's life. Not really about his life, right? Nothing to do with his life. It's what happened to him, and for some reason, I guess is motivated by racism and all these riots. And so as a result of that, we're going to go ahead and you know make a scholarship for this guy. So I understand that universities want to raise money. I understand that that is their job, especially as these presidents do that. But my problem is that the George Floyd guy was not a good guy. He's not somebody that you want to establish a scholarship with. I mean, no. So because of that, I'm like, let's have a scholarship for Margaret Sanger. Okay, I think the Margaret Sanger scholarship is something that would be pretty interesting because she did a lot for women, right? And we could redirect this to for black people and for black women, and it could be something that everyone can be a part of, right? Let's ignore the fact that she actually through her organization, which then became whatever it became, that she said that she wanted to basically, right, exterminate the Negro race, right? Let's just ignore the fact that she started an organization called Planned Parenthood, which kills more black people than anyone else. The KKK, the police brutality, all of that combined. And let's make a scholarship for her, guys. Let's make a scholarship for her. Why not? It's not her life that matters, but her legacy, right? If we want to raise money, let's raise money for Margaret Sanger, the founder of Planned Parenthood, who, as a result, now, there has been millions of abortions of black people, that black women have. And guess what? Freedom of choice, right? That's such an awesome thing. So let's just have a scholarship for her, right? So the impact of abortion on the world, on black people, I think is something that is not that is something you can't understate it. I mean, if black people right now are 12% of the population, yeah, I think we're about 12%, right? We were 12% in 1965, right? Basically, from the civil rights era on to today, there has been no change in the African American population. None. Why is that? Well, it might have something to do with the fact that black people abort their babies. I don't want to be too grim, but it's something that is a part of Margaret Sanger's life. Um, uh, it's sad because it kills, right? So let's look at if you just do some stats here, you find, look at this: abortion kills 1,000 black babies every single day in the United States. I mean, guys, this is serious. This is serious. Um, because abortion is actually what is killing us. Um, it's that's the thing. And if we're gonna be talking about which lives matter, right? These are the lives that matter the most. Because I understand racism is a problem. I don't agree that it's systematic. And you can watch all the previous videos wherever you're watching this at. On YouTube, you go there too. Go to eyesofreason.com. Go to other places, right? But how come we're not burning the streets? How come we're not burning the Wendy's down over this? How come we're not burning down places and rioting? And how come we're not mad and upset about this? I mean, what is a bigger problem, guys? Is it abortion or is it police? Right? I mean, and then in New York City, you have even, worse statistics and stuff and things coming out of there, right? Like in New York City, nearly 5,000 more black lives are aborted than born. That's serious. So, why are schools establishing scholarships for George Floyd, who took a gun and pointed it at the stomach of a pregnant woman? Why are we doing this? So, previous videos I talked about, George Floyd. Is he a martyr, or is he a criminal? Right? What did the guy do? I'm not excusing his death, not excusing that at all, right? I don't think he should have died. I don't. I think the guy had the guy's knee on his neck for far too long, but no one has been able to explain how you could tie that to racism. Nobody at all. Because there's no evidence that that was racially motivated at all. And think about the other guys who was there. It was another black guy there. It was a white guy, and it was a Chinese, not Chinese, but an Asian guy, who were the police officers standing by as the guy's knee was on his neck. So, very, very, very simple, guys. If we're going to look at the legacy of somebody, right, and just say that and ignore the person's life and how they live, then let's have a scholarship for Margaret Sanger. She was a eugenicist, right? She believed that, what? That white people were superior. She literally believed that. And she became founder of an organization that empowers many, 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 many women all around the world. But yet we want to establish a scholarship in the guy's life where it's not even, who would even, you can't look up to the guy. You can't, right? It's I think it's crazy talk. So for example, right, if you go to the United Negro College Fund and you look at their website, right, you have a whole list of scholarships here that people that people think, right? It's a NASCAR scholarship, Inter scholarship. I'm pretty sure I think I got some of these scholarships. You just go on and you write a paper, but these are scholarships that are intended, for people. And Papa John's, he's a good guy, right? Power of perseverance, right? Minority students completed college education, needs based, blah 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 blah, right? You gotta have a 2.5 GPA. Oh my goodness, right? But guess what? If you go and you look, if you go on FastWeb and look for scholarships, you type in the person's name, and you don't find anything about felons on here. You just don't. Afghan American Scholarship Program, Workforce Maps Program, William Miller Memorial Scholarship. What's that? What's that one about? Let's see. I didn't see this. So William Miller Memorial. Let's just do just some research right here. Who was William Miller? William Miller Memorial School. Okay, I don't know what that is about. Community involvement, engagement. Okay, what else? Um, William Keith McCord Scholarship. So that's a more specific name. Let's just look at this. Okay, what? It's a $500 scholarship. If you just highlight his name, click on it, what do you get? This is my first time looking at the scholarship. So, uh, what is this about? Okay, don't know who that was about. But Warner Massey Scholarship. What is that? So there's a lot of these specific colleges, right? Rio Roberto Jim. So the point is they name scholarships after people. And it's $500. So this take that technical community college has a lot of he's a jiu-jitsu guy. Well, this one college has lots of scholarships. So let's just scroll down some more to see something else. Look at all these ones here. Martin Winfrey, Maryland, blah blah blah. Marion Ann Ball Kareem Scholarship. What is that about? Same school. Okay. These are just names after people, but I'm pretty sure that none of these people are felons. I'm pretty sure that none of these people have actually gone to jail for, being, what's the word? Uh, Drunk or being high or selling drugs or any of these kinds of things. And to take something like, the $55,000, how come you can't just put it towards a black empowerment scholarship or something, some other kind of name or something, but don't put it behind that guy. Nicholas Paul Smith Scholarship. Okay, so we go here. If you search for his name, what? This guy. There's a lot of Nicholas Smiths in the world, apparently. But don't pander to black people by making a scholarship out of the guy's name. I'm pretty sure the people who are going to receive that scholarship are very fine folks. I'm sure that they are. I just don't agree that we should actually be lifting them up like this. And somebody asked me the other day, they was like, ain't nobody lifting up George Floyd? We got posters of the guy. I got a poster of the guy here somewhere. Or whatever. But why do we do this? I can't find it. But if you guys watched Candace Owens' video, she hit the nail on the head when she said that. When she was talking about how we take the lowest people in our society as African Americans and we just uplift them up. And so if we're going to be uplifting anybody, not based on their life, but based on their legacy, then maybe establishing a Margaret Sanger scholarship would be just as effective. Because through her legacy, she killed millions and millions and millions of black boys and girls. And if people live their life like George Floyd lived his life, we'll have thousands upon thousands upon thousands of black boys and girls dead. And that's not something that I want. And that's not something I think anyone wants. But to take a guy like that and to give a scholarship after his name, I think is very sad and it's disappointing to me. And I hope we as people out there start to push back on this, because we just got up, down, and down, up today, and it's really, really sad, and I'm really, really disappointed. And so let's not uplift and glorify the worst of us, but let's look to the best of us. So, yeah. That's it for today, guys. I hope you have a very blessed day. And remember, all deaths matter. Even those who are in the womb, defenseless, and didn't deserve it. Did George Floyd deserve it? No, he didn't. No, he didn't at all. He didn't deserve it. But there was a series of decisions that he could have made to avoid that situation incredibly. But when he takes a gun and he sticks it up against the stomach of a pregnant woman, that hits me. That hits me hard. Right? So we could have better role models. But don't name him a scholarship after a person like that, man. If so, name it after Margaret Sanger. If life doesn't matter, if a person's life, how they live, doesn't matter, but a fictional narrative of how the guy dies matters more than the guy's life, then maybe he didn't have a life that was worth it. Worth it in terms of, being on a scholarship. And there's hundreds of them for people out there. Named after people who worked and lived and actually contributed to society in a positive way, in a good way, in a way that we should uphold as a role model. Those are the kinds of scholarships that we should be striving for in our world. Because if we're going to change up the standard now, then it kind of cheapens what it really means to have a memorial scholarship, a scholarship that you establish in somebody's death, right? And you establish in their death because their life mattered, because their life meant something. What did George Floyd do, man? In and out of prison, right? Had a gun at a woman's stomach while robbing her house. Look up the guy's life. Look up his death, how he was high on fentanyl. Not weed, but fentanyl. Did he deserve to die? No. No, he didn't deserve to die. But the decisions that he made led to his death, or to a large part of it. If he tried to hand the person a $20 bill and the person didn't, and he just went away and went somewhere else, problem avoided. If he would have not tried to rob a house with a pregnant woman and tried to kill her aboard the baby, then maybe he wouldn't have gone to jail. Maybe something else would have happened and he'd still be alive today. Or if the justice system would have not failed us and kept him in prison, he would still be alive today. In jail, yeah, but still alive. Same thing with the guy in Florida. No, Atlanta, right? Got released because of COVID-19 because they were like, we don't want them to get COVID-19 in jail, so we're going to let all the criminals go. And what did he do? He ended up drunk driving, hit, in the Wendy's, having officer come, do the breathalyzer, way over. They try to arrest him. He could have just simply let them arrest him, gone to jail for the night, went out in the morning. But he decided to resist arrest. And when he resisted arrest, he tried to fight. They tried to say, stop, don't do this. We didn't want this to happen. We don't want this to end up like this. We don't want another person dead. And then bam, 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 bam. The guy ends his life, right? And which is more impactful for the African American community today? Because I guess that is the community that everyone wants to focus on now. It's funny how we never say the white community, right? It's funny how white people never get their own little stuff, but black people, oh yeah, we gotta cater to them. I find it very sad and depressing. Black lives matter, all lives matter, but all deaths matter. And if you look at them in terms of proportion, man, KKK doesn't have to do anything today because we are doing it to ourselves in our prison populations and through Margaret Sanger's legacy. So, Leah, let's not look at George Floyd's life, right? If we're going to use that as a standard, if we're going to use that to argue, if we're going to use that to say, yeah, but look at all the police brutality, right? Then let's look at the data. Let's look at the data and let's look at Margaret Sanger and let's say, well, you know what? We should give her a scholarship too. That would raise money from so many different people. And we should target it towards black schools and universities. Yeah, it's gonna anybody who receives that money, yeah, they deserve it. Yeah. They should get money. I'm not advocating against that at all. But all I'm saying is that you gotta look at somebody's life just a little bit. Because when you try to uphold these as role models, what good does it get you? What good does it get us? What good does it do society as a people? Like, comment, share, subscribe.